You've probably heard the term antibiotics. You may have even taken antibiotics, and like so many others, even if you've never taken them, you probably know that they're a type of medication that is prescribed when you have some kind of a bacterial infection. But beyond antibiotics, you may have also heard terms such as probiotic, maybe even terms such as prebiotic or postbiotic. There are so many different terms out there, it seems, and sometimes it can get confusing. But the bottom line is that all of them have something to do with the microbiome, meaning the environment within your gut. So let's talk about why it's so important to pay attention to prebiotics and probiotics and postbiotics and your microbiome, all of the bacteria and other microorganisms that live inside us and on us, on our skin. You may be surprised to find out that if we were to compare by weight all of the cells of your body, the human cells, as compared to all of the microorganisms that live within you and on you, there are more microorganisms by weight than there are cells that are human cells. What does that mean? That means that essentially we are less human cells by nature and by weight and more microorganisms. So why am I telling you that? I don't mean this to be a Halloween special where I'm scaring you. I'm telling you that because this is important information to know if you're going to realize that it's so important to understand this whole world of microbes that shares the life that you call your own, that shares that life with you, and its effects and its benefits and its detriments to you. So when you are sick and need to be treated with antibiotics, what it essentially means is that you are battling some kind of a bacterial infection. That means that certain type of bacteria that's not good for you, has outnumbered or has grown in number to such a degree that it's making you sick. It's making your body uncomfortable. Maybe you have a fever, maybe you're in pain, whatever the case is. But essentially, some bad bugs are running amok in your body. That's why you need antibiotics in order to get those bad bugs, if you will, in check. Then there are the good bacteria and good microbes that live inside us, that live on us, and they have a symbiotic relationship with the rest of our body. So that means that we work together with those microbes and we benefit each other in some way. Now, it's important to remember that even the good microbes, if they run amok in numbers themselves, they can turn on us. So it's important to have a very balanced microbiome, a very balanced environment. So the idea here is this: we want the kind of microbiome and the kind of microbes that live in us and on us that are beneficial to us. You may be wondering, what, if anything, can I do to promote the existence and healthy coexistence with the right kind of bugs, the bugs that keep me healthy and keep me running, keep my immune system strong? Well, there's plenty that you can do. One of the simplest things comes down to diet. And you know from previous videos how I always talk to you about the importance of a proper diet, proper dietary or eating habits when it comes to stress management. The reason for that is that if you have a healthy diet, that's just one way of keeping you healthy and resilient, and you need that if you're going to be effective in your stress management efforts. So when we talk about your microbiome, your gut, your health, your immune system, your resilience. It's so important to pay attention to those microorganisms that share your body, essentially, that share your life. Some scientists suggest that there is a connection, a link between certain bacteria and certain microorganisms that exist within people and things such as illnesses, things such as heart disease. So when scientists look at the microorganisms of an individual, the microbiome of an individual, they are able to tell if they are potentially predisposed for things like heart issues and other illnesses. You don't have to be a scientist yourself to reason just how important a good relationship with just the right microbes is for you, your health, your well-being, and your resilience, your ability to fight disease, to fight infections, and to effectively manage stress. So let's get back to this idea of some of those other terms that I mentioned at the beginning of this video. So what are probiotics, prebiotics, and postbiotics? Well, in short, probiotics are things such as bacteria, such as fungi, and other microbes that live within your body and live on your body, on your skin. And we want the healthy microbes because they coexist nicely with us. It's a symbiotic relationship. They help us out, we help them out. And when everything is in balance, it works well. Prebiotics are basically foods, things that will feed those little bacteria and fungi and other microbes, things that will allow them to flourish and live happily in our bodies and do what they do to help us out and coexist peacefully and nicely with one another. Postbiotics are essentially, well, technically it's waste that is the result of what prebiotics and probiotics do. Probiotics do their thing, they live their life, they digest things, and postbiotics are technically that's the waste. However, when we hear the word waste, it might sound alarming, but waste, it's not necessarily waste in the bad sense, because if you have the right probiotics, the right microbes and bacteria, and you feed them the right diet in terms of the prebiotics, then the postbiotics, the waste that they produce in the end, is also healthy for you. It's things like vitamins and other beneficial things that your body can continue to use and absorb in a healthy way. So reason with me here. If we're feeding a healthy diet to the right kind of bacteria and fungi and microbes that live within us, and then we get the right kind of postbiotics in form of vitamins and other nutrients that the body can then use and absorb nicely, it stands to reason that if we have a poor diet, we would then be promoting the growth of the not so friendly bacteria and microorganisms, which will then result in the kind of waste that will not be healthy and helpful to our body. So you see how, having a healthy diet, making the right dietary choices matters on so many levels. It's more than just going on a diet and doing the latest trend in terms of diets. If you've watched my videos, you know that I find that to be nonsense. It's about a sensible, healthy diet where you have a lot of plant food, food that is as unprocessed as possible. Things where you can get the most vitamins and nutrients and the best kind of nutritionally dense types of food. Unfortunately, a lot of our food in our modern society, especially in a Western society, American diet, more so than anywhere else, I think, we have very highly processed foods that are high in calories, empty calories, and very poor in nutrition. So it doesn't take a scientist, it doesn't take a genius to figure out that if you are providing the kind of environment and the kind of food that will attract and take care of the right microbes and bacteria and fungi and all those little guys that live inside you, then that will translate into a healthy overall experience for you and your body. But when you have diet that is high in essentially garbage, not much nutrition happening, you are going to provide an environment that promotes the less than beneficial bacteria and harmful bacteria, and then the results will speak for themselves. So this is so important. I keep talking to you about the importance of your diet when it comes to proper stress management, but there's a reason for that. You know, the food that we eat isn't just a choice that you have to make that maybe you struggle with. The food that you eat is the building blocks, comes down to being the building blocks of what makes up your body, but it goes beyond that. It also either enriches a healthy microbiome and invites healthy, beneficial microorganisms into your environment, which then strengthen all the different systems, strengthen your immunity, and that translates into a better life experience for you and a more resilient body and mind that can then more effectively deal with stress in your life. I hope that as you're getting more and more educated on the topic, you're beginning to understand that a healthy diet doesn't have to be something that maybe you think of a diet as this thing that you do for 30 days, you suffer, you're miserable, you lose some weight, and then you go back to your old habits. A healthy diet is just how you eat for the rest of your life, the choices that you make every day. And when you understand that there's more to it than flavor, there's more to it than cravings, which are also driven by microbes, by the way, you have to understand that so much is at stake with whatever you ingest, whatever you put in your body. It makes making the right choices a little easier. I always advocate for educating people rather than just saying, do this. And unfortunately, so many people blindly follow one trend or one popular diet after the next, never truly understanding what it is that's happening in their body, what it is that their bodies need. It's your responsibility to take care of this vehicle that you travel in throughout this lifetime. It's up to you to take care of it. It's up to you to have some understanding of how it works. And it doesn't take much to figure out that what you put into, whether it's your body or a project or a pet or a relationship, is what you're going to get out, right? The ingredients in, or the efforts in, or the energy in is going to affect what you get in return. So I always encourage you to pay attention to what you're putting in your body. Make Dietary choices, conscious choices. Don't blindly stuff your face while sitting in front of the TV, not realizing what you've eaten or how much you've eaten. That doesn't serve you. I hope that you're beginning to understand the importance of your nutritional choices and how what you eat, what you put in your body, affects you on so many different levels. And it doesn't just affect you, the human cells that make up your body, but also the community of microorganisms that coexist within your own body that make up who you are. We're not just human cells, we are a community of human cells and microbes, things like bacteria and fungi and other little microorganisms that live collectively, hopefully in peace and harmony and happiness together. But you have such a big input on how that goes, what kind of end results you get, what kind of experience your life turns out to be in terms of your health and your body experience. So I really hope that you take these things to heart, so to speak, and think about making the best dietary choices, the best decisions that are available to you at any given time, because after all, you're not just eating for yourself, you are eating for trillions and trillions of microorganisms that will either help you or hurt you. So why not feed and promote the kind of microorganisms that will work with you rather than against you? If you would like to learn more about effective stress management, check out the link below.